Thank you for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Our coverage tonight begins in the country's capital, Abuja, where High Court of the Federal Capital Territory in Maitama on Tuesday refused an application by the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to be granted permission to travel to the United Kingdom for a checkup. Emefiele is being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on an amended 20-count charge bordering on procurement fraud, obtaining by pretext, and forgery while he held sway as governor of the Apex Bank. At the resumed hearing on the application for medical leave, the trial judge, Justice Hamza Muazu, held that Emefiele failed to supply sufficient reasons to show that the medical trip was essential and unavoidable. To discuss this a little further, I'm being joined by public affairs analyst and chairman, African Democratic Congress, I beg your pardon, Lagos State Chapter, George Ashiru. Judge, thank you very much for joining us. In what ways might this court decision influence the perception of regulatory and financial accountability in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here this evening. I think this is very important that the judges realize the importance for all of us Nigerians and the legal system to hold everyone, no matter how high they are, accountable for their actions, past, present. And I think this is just one of them. I mean, we cannot have someone being prosecuted and then they have the opportunity to enjoy the freedoms that they would have had if they didn't have the same sort of issue hanging on their heads. So for me and for a lot of Nigerians, we need to get to the root of this matter. And I think if it was a very serious ailment, I would think that all the necessary documentation will have been provided. Then the judges will have looked at it. But he has cases all over the place. So one judge might rule that he can travel. Another judge might say, no, hold on to the passports. So that's the way I look at it at the moment.
Considering the allegations against him and the case that he has, might there have been fear that he might abscond if given the opportunity to go for his medicals?
Well, I mean, the chances of his absconding depends on which country he's going to. So if he's going to a country that we have the right kind of bilateral agreement in terms of things like this in the diplomatic level, with all certainty, he will be under surveillance, and the country concerned might choose also to return him to Nigeria if he does abscond. I think the fear is not so much absconding, but the possibility of interfering with potential witnesses, interfering with documentation, hiding documentation, and then opportunity to also make calls and reach out to people and make fresh networks. So there are so many other things that could be involved when you let a high-profile person, politically inclined person for that matter, to have freedom in this stage outside of the country, which is outside of the borders of our intelligence agencies. Right now, they need to be able to monitor him. I'm sure he's under 24-hour surveillance in every way and in every manner. So that's probably one of the reasons the Nigerian government will say, no, this is not appropriate. And from what I read, and he did not even provide any medical information that will have expedited the action on his behalf.
Considering the seemingly growing distrust of the judicial sector, there are speculations that the decision, though given that they said it was incomplete documentation and the reason is not valid enough, that the medical need was not, can be done here, do you subscribe that there might be political undertones to the court decision? If yes, where does that leave us?
I mean, look at it in a very important manner. You see, we're talking about the central bank governor of Nigeria, a former central bank governor of Nigeria. I mean, this level of you wouldn't call it political persecution, will be unprecedented. So really, it's a purely legal matter. The government of Nigeria believes that the gentleman in question did not practice good corporate governance while he was in office for almost 10 years. They're probably the only central bank governor that's got two cycles, so to speak, of opportunity to become central bank governor of Nigeria. And in that period of time, there's cause as far as government is concerned, and as far as the special prosecutor was concerned, to believe that there were lots of things that didn't go well. So we Nigerians like to get to the root of the matter. We Nigerians like to see that justice is being practiced. From a purely political point of view, as a political party chieftain, I'm concerned about the fact that the central bank governor is an active member of the ruling party. That's not something that is acceptable for a central bank governor. Should be an independent individual, non-partisan, and therefore making decisions for the best interest of the country. But as long as you belong to the political party in question, it begets the question, are you there on behalf of the government, or are you there on behalf of the party? So I am more worried about the corporate governance, the bad corporate governance that that basically insinuates that we've had 9 years of impunity, the capacity to do anything and everything to this level that needs to go to court and 20 charges. So we need to get to the root of this. And if truly he has very serious medical conditions that cannot be treated in this country, I would also believe that his human rights are guaranteed by the Constitution to do so.
All right, Judge, we'll have to leave it there for now. I'm very sure we will be talking about this case in the coming days and months. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And moving away from that, Governor Abia Yusuf has signed the Kano State Emirate Council Establishment Bill 2024 into law. The legislation passed by the State House of Assembly aims to bridge the gap between the grassroots and the government while sustaining the rich cultural values and norms of the people. The new law establishes second-class emirate councils in Rano, Gaya, and Karai, each responsible for specific local government areas. Governor Yusuf said the Rano Emirate consists of Rano, Kibiya, and Bunkure local government areas. Gaya Emirate consists of Gaya, Albasu, and Ajingi local government areas, while Karai Emirate consists of Karai and Rogo local government areas. According to the governor, these councils will have powers to advise the Emir of Kano on matters related to the maintenance of public order and boundary disputes within their jurisdictions. The Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission has fixed October 19, 2024 to conduct elections in the 23 local government areas of the state. The commission's chairperson, Hajara Mohammed, announced the date and timetable on Tuesday during a meeting with political parties and other concerned individuals in the state. She noted that the current council members were sworn into office on November 1, 2021 and will end their 3-year tenure on October 31. She said the commission is responsible for organizing the elections of chairpersons, vice chairpersons, and councillors in the state. A federal high court sitting in Abuja on Tuesday issued a bench warrant for the arrest of the medical director at the Kuje Correctional Health Center, Dr. Ibrahim Ehizoje, who, over refusal to produce the medical report of the detained executive of Binance Holdings Limited, Tigran Gambayan. The trial judge, Justice Emeka Nwite, issued the order following an application by Gambayan's lawyer, Mark Modi, SAN, who complained to the judge that his order instructing that Gambaya's medical reports be made available to his team had not been complied with. Following Modi's lamentation, Justice Nwite asked a prison official who brought Gambayan to court about the development. He replied that he got the court order and delivered the order to the doctor on Tuesday, July 9. We'll go on a short break. The news continues right after. Do stay with us. Abia State Governor Alex Otti says his government will not tolerate acts capable of derailing the principles and objectives of his administration by those called to serve the masses. The governor, who handed down this warning during the inauguration of members of House of Assembly Commission, Civil Service Commission, and Welfare of Disabled Persons Commission, as well as special advisors, said their new statuses are not for personal enrichment. Also, chairman of the State Commission for the Welfare of the Disabled Persons commended the governor for considering the disabled for a special commission. All right, let's go over to Rivers State for the latest. We understand the State House of Assembly, led by Victor Okojumbo, has condemned the resolution by the Martin Amaule-led House barring Governor Siminalayi Fubara from spending public funds. The Speaker, Victor Okojumbo, stated this in his opening remark during plenary on Tuesday. He said what Amaule and 24 others, whom he described as former members of the House, did was unfounded and without validity. Okojumbo argued that the group had no legal capacity or moral basis to bar the governor from spending public funds. He insisted that Amaule and 24 others are not members of the Assembly following their defection from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress in December 2023. The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, held a two-day stakeholder summit in Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital, to develop strategies and articulate a roadmap for economic growth and development of Nigeria's Niger Delta region. Themed Renewed Hope for Sustainable Development of the Niger Delta region, participants actively discussed all the 7 pillars of development vis-a-vis current challenges and possible solutions. News Centre's Niyi Omoni was there and filed this report.
At the pre-technical session on the first day of the summit, stakeholders raised important concerns regarding environmental pollution, limited access to opportunities, non-inclusive decision-making processes, lack of participation in the oil and gas economy, and exacerbating social tensions within their communities.
The flare gas, we don't have lights, we inhale all these suits, no hospitals.
It appears the commission is not getting to the grassroots.
If they are borrowing money to execute projects in Nigeria, they should borrow money and pay back to the NDDC. They are funding 2 trillion naira.
The session provided a platform for stakeholders, particularly the Niger Delta Development Commission, to articulate ideas and policies aimed at fostering development in the region.
If there is need to review the law, after 25 years we can review the law and ensure that it meets the aspirations of the people.
NDDC is working for the people of the Niger Delta. NDDC is willing to partner with the state government in the Niger Delta to ensure that we achieve more.
Funding is key. We would appeal to the federal government, the monies that are due NDDC, because over time, the 15% of the derivation funds due to the state are never paid in full.
The second day of the summit, attended by former President Goodluck Jonathan, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, governors of the 9 Niger Delta states, government officials, community leaders, and industry experts, created an opportunity to share perspectives, exchange ideas, and explore solutions addressing the varied challenges facing the Niger Delta region.
Discovered that the NDDC project, which is currently in the National Assembly, is completely different from what it used to be. Many people say, oh, 1.something trillion. That 1 trillion there is the low component which Mr. President has graciously accepted that is going to assist in raising for NDDC in order to identify those legacy projects and get them completed.
Unity among the people of the Niger Delta region and the entire nation is not just a choice, but a necessity.
The Niger Delta should begin to see how they will start building a Niger Delta without hydrocarbons.
At the conclusion of the summit, a panel discussion was held and a communique issued prioritizing the health and welfare of local populations with an emphasis on concerted efforts needed to address the many abandoned projects currently affecting the region. In Lagos for News Central, Igbalani Omani.
Nairametrics and News Central have teamed up for Market Pulse, a new stock market show focused on financial literacy and investor education. To introduce the program, they paid a courtesy visit to the Nigerian exchange where they were received by the CEO. News Central's business correspondent, Perpetual Fasami Peter, has more.
News Central and Nairametrics visited the Nigerian Exchange Group to introduce Market Pulse and discuss its potential benefits to the capital market.
The direction of the conversation now. So our step one, like I said, is Market Pulse, which is News Central in collaboration partnership with Nairametrics. That is excellent platform that we've created. Both platforms will be using it as a source of information for the public. The second one is the coverage of the market, which we now have to dedicate individuals that will cover and make sure that nothing happens here that we don't have it covered.
I think the way we envision this, there should be a lot more than just that 30 minutes in a day. It's not enough, but at least that's a start. There will be coverage not just on traditional TV. You're also going to have a social media angle to it, because we know there's a lot of eyeballs on social media, a lot of eyeballs on platforms like YouTube, TikTok. We're going to go to all those places. And it's going to be a fun show. Kay doesn't even know how crazy I am with ideas like this. It's going to be a real fun show. It's not just a show where you would have someone from Chapel Hill come in and speak grammar. You're going to have Davido here come and talk about stocks. That's how we envision it.
Responding, the NGX Group CEO, Temi Bupola, expressed his enthusiasm for such collaborations.
That as many partnerships like this as we can find, without a doubt in my mind, is probably the only way that we have as a business. And it hasn't been lost on me since I moved back also about the power that the right partnerships with media can help you, sort of do.
The exchange boss also took the opportunity to promote the exchange new platform, NGX Invest, which could be a valuable tool for viewers interested in investing.
Today there are about 4 publicly announced transactions, 2 rights issuances, 2 public offers, all 4 transactions today very easily. www.invest.ngxgroup.com. You'd be able to access any of those securities in under 2 minutes, start to finish. You expect that you'd have been done investing. So we are now spreading the word out, trying to make sure that investors see this as one channel.
Market Pulse, a new stock market show that debuted on July 15th, airs weekdays at 4 p.m. on News Central TV. The program offers in-depth analysis of the Nigerian exchange, along with insights into selected African markets and global trends. It leverages News Central's broadcast reach and Nairametrics' financial expertise to create a valuable resource for anyone interested in the Nigerian and global financial landscape. In Lagos for News Central, Perpetual Fasami Peter.
Let's talk security. Baga is witnessing a significant transformation as peace begins to reign in the Lake Chad region. After a period of conflict that forced many to flee, farmers are returning to their lands and calling for the return of their fellow displaced community members. We're joined now by my colleague, Umaru Kirawa. Umaru, it's good to have you on the news. Please tell us more about your visit to Baga earlier today.
Yes, it is worthy of note that Baga used to be one of the strongholds of insurgents. And then it's a story of hope and resilience during amidst very difficult time. Let's take a watch of the journey.
From the top is the Lake Chad, a region that includes Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger republics. After years of conflict and displacement, communities in the Lake Chad region are finally seeing signs of hope. Farmers are smiling and back to their farmlands to cultivate what to eat.
Ran tsaro sai dai mu ce alhamdulillah, mun gode wa Allah. Amma alhamdulillah tunda komai ya samu cikin sauki. Kuma yanayin noma yanda muke samu har ga Allah sai dai karancin ruwan sama hakan nan. To amma dai damunar bana muna saka rai tunda damunar mu na yanzu yau din.
Lamarin noma alhamdulillah mun gode wa Allah. An samu sauki kan shekarun baya. Muna gudanar da noma nan din zaron ba laifi gaskiya.
The farmers are calling on other inhabitants of Baga community to return home and pick up the pieces of their lives.
Ka harafa haranga mata ka suka dum kan banga kasa alhamdulillah baka na zuniya juku
a tsara tallafa mana akwai hanyar kangaro wancan hanyar fisheries da aka fara zuwa ana gona a bude mana shi muna zuwa muna harkar noman mu muna dawowa sannan kuma muna buƙatar hanyar cadin nan a taimaka a mana kokari a bude mana ita insha Allah in dai hanyar nan ta mutu cadi ta bude ta nan to shikenan mu kan alhamdulillah sai dai mu yi godiya ga Allah.
Boko Haram ba ko daya ai Boko Haram ba sa kusa a nan yanzu ba daya sun ciki ba wani Boko Haram da yake tsallakowa ne yake kama na matsala tunda Allah ta suka bar garin nan aka kore suka tafi inda muka gan ku lafiya na haka muke zaune lafiya ba mu da matsala da ma'aikata muna tare lafiya ba wani tashin hankali tsakaninmu da su gari sun tsare gari kuma yadda ya kamata 100%.
Jaman da sama kurun so yanda muzi min je te zuwa askirin yana isa sama garin da so sadana flori tare sama sasana rubana sarna zuwa askirin yana.
Clearance operations continue to allow returnee families to rebuild their lives and engage in their quest for better livelihood.
Despite challenges such as the presence of mines posing risk to the citizenry, progress in the mining operations has been notable, paving the way for communities to reclaim their livelihoods and rebuild their lives in the Lake Chad region. In Baga for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
I mean, Umar, the conversation between you and these people showed that they really feel like peace has returned to their community. Do you think maybe it's enough to get more people to return?
Well, it's very much, the peace is gradually returning, and like if you have heard from the people, Boko Haram are no longer in the community. That is what one of the farmers was saying. So virtually, peace is back in the community. But however, much need to be done. Like that one of the inhabitants said, that there are other routes, particularly the Chad. And of course, there is one road that need to be reopened by the Nigerian government or by the military, so as to allow them farm in large quantities, so as to eat what they produce.
Yeah, we certainly hope that they can get back to work completely. We understand that the tour is continuing tomorrow as well. Where would you be heading?
Yes, certainly. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be in Cameroon Republic, and then at Darak, and then we'll be heading to Chad to also speak with frontline, with the people in communities, assessing the security situation in the Lake Chad region, taking into consideration the years of insurgency, the displacement, and now that there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and hope is rekindling in the communities.
Omar, thank you very much for speaking with us, and do stay safe out there as you go about your reports.
Thank you.
Right. The recently concluded local government elections in Delta State have seen winners sworn in and presented with certificates of return. However, Labour Party, a leading opposition party in the state, has called for the outright cancellation of the polls, citing alleged manipulation of the electoral process. My colleague Austin Azu tells us more.
On Saturday, July 13th, residents of Delta State headed to the polls to elect local government chairmen and councillors across 25 local government areas and 500 wards. Although the exercise experienced low voter turnout, it was deemed peaceful throughout the state.
The election will be very peaceful, though the turnout has been very low because of the downpour.
Yeah, it's going peacefully. Everywhere in Jedo land is calm.
However, in several polling units across the state, particularly in Anyosha South and North, as well as Ikan Northeast, some voters reportedly being disenfranchised due to the unavailability of voting materials.
I discovered that most of the polling units, materials was not provided, and of which a lot of people who came out to vote to choose their leader, they were frustrated.
It was on Saturday 13th, around 2:30 p.m., they finally brought the voting materials, and the PDP candidate, councillorship candidate, has the mind to tore the ballot papers and destroy the voting materials at their units. After that day, the next morning, I saw result that PDP candidate won.
Here at the DSEC headquarters in Asaba, where election results were announced, the DSEC chairman has certified the election proceedings and officially declared the winners.
The chairmanship candidate of the PDP in Udu local government area was returned unopposed.
In the meantime, members of Labour Party in Delta State have gathered at the party secretariat in Asaba to review the recent elections. After the assessment, they called for outright cancellation of the results and announced their intention to pursue legal action against DSEC and Governor Sheriff Oborewori.
The Labour Party has outrightly rejected what has been done in Delta State as an election.
We are reviewing the evidence we have. We are reviewing all the video clips. We are reviewing all the evidence we have to see the weight of evidence that we have. And we believe that if that weight of evidence is strong enough, we will go forward and take legal action.
Nonetheless, the state governor at the swearing-in of the chairman and their vice have this to say.
And I am glad that this sex has lived to my own expectations. The process was indeed free, fair, and in line with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Government of Nigeria.
Recall that before the local government elections, Labour Party staged a peaceful protest at the DSEC headquarters, demanding a level playing field for all candidates. The DSEC chairman and the state governor assured residents that the polls will be conducted fairly. In the coming days, the actions of the Labour Party will play a crucial role determining a paradigm shift in the election's outcome. In Asaba, for News Central, Austin Azu.
In Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has announced that pensioners in the state will now have access to healthcare services through the Social Health Insurance Plan, Ilera Eco. The governor revealed this during the launch of the new Ilera Eco telemedicine virtual booth and the standard JARA Health Insurance Plan in the state. News Center's Adeshewa Odushoga reports.
From tuberculosis to COVID-19 and down to the current cholera outbreak, Lagos State has been the epicenter for a couple of disease outbreaks in Nigeria. This, no doubt, can be attributed to the growing population of more than 20 million residents, which makes it easy for communicable disease to spread faster, if not quickly contained. With several calls for quality healthcare delivery, the state, through its public health insurance scheme, Ilera Eco, has launched a telemedicine virtual booth and an upgraded health insurance plan known as the Standard JARA Health Insurance Plan.
Ilera Eco virtual booth is designed to take healthcare services closer to the people at the grassroots, especially the market men and women, artisans, and transport workers who cannot leave their shops, stores, or motor parks to receive medical care in the hospital when they need it.
In Lagos State, we do not want people to lose their lives out of ignorance or on what can be controlled or prevented. We want to ensure that we do everything possible to prevent untimely death in the state. This is why our gathering today is equally essential.
The governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, while speaking at the unveiling, said this will allow for easy access to basic healthcare services, especially for residents in the rural areas, cover for more diseases, and widen the social safety net.
We have enrolled a public servant in the Ilera Eco scheme, with the government covering 75% of all their premiums. Starting in August 2024, all Lagos State pensioners will receive the free one-year Ilera Eco coverage, which will ensure their access to health care even while in retirement. We're doing all this to further our universal health coverage goal.
The state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was also crowned as the brand ambassador for the universal health coverage and Ilera Eco alongside the deputy governor, Obafemi Hamzat, in recognition of their support to healthcare delivery in the state. In Lagos, for News Central, Adeshewa Odushoga.
Glad you're still with us. A Kenyan court has ordered a man who police claim has confessed to murdering and dismembering 42 women to be detained for 30 days while the investigation continues. Collins Kalusha, who was described by the police as a vampire and a psychopath, was arrested in the early hours of Monday following the horrific discovery of mutilated bodies in a Nairobi garbage dump. He appeared in a Nairobi court on Tuesday, where the magistrate approved a police request for him to be held for 30 days. But there was initial confusion as the suspect was first taken to a court on the outskirts of the Kenyan capital, which said it did not have the jurisdiction to hear the case, so he was transferred to the magistrate court. Interesting times we live in. Let's go now to a business desk for today's business stories.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
On Business Tonight, the Nigerian government has expressed its commitment to engage with relevant stakeholders to boost power sector investments for economic development. A statement by Mohammed Manga, Director, Information and Public Relations of the Ministry of Finance, said the minister, Wale Edun, disclosed this at a meeting with World Bank delegates. The meeting, which was aimed at reaffirming President Bola Tinubu administration's commitment to repositioning the economy for the future of Nigeria, discussed innovative ways to drive Nigeria's power sector forward. South Africa has told the UK that its plans to impose a carbon tax on imported goods will deepen global inequality and hamper Africa's ability to adapt to climate change. The criticism of the measure, which the UK plans to introduce by the year 2027, comes as developing economies such as South Africa accuse industrialized nations of shifting the obligation to combat global warming to poorer countries. The European Union began levying its own so-called carbon border adjustment mechanism last year. The tax, which penalizes imports based on the amount of climate warming carbon generated in their production, may also breach World Trade Organization rules, South Africa said in a submission sent to the UK Treasury last month. South Africa's reliance on coal to generate most of its electricity from coal renders it particularly vulnerable to the measure. Blockchain venture funding in Africa decreased by 74% in the first half of the year 2024 compared to the same period in 2023. On July 16, Swiss blockchain venture capital firm CVVC released its latest report on African venture funding. In the report, CVVC highlighted that Africa secured $34.7 million in the first half of the year 2024, compared to 2023, when funding reached $135.4 million. The number marks a 74% year-on-year decline in the amount raised. While Africa experienced a downturn in funding, CVVC reported a 9% increase in the number of deals made in the region. And that's all on business news. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Let's go now to get some sports update from the team.
Hello, welcome to Sports News. The chairman of club owners in the Nigeria Premier Football League, Oke Paluku, has announced that the 2024-25 league season will feature a full schedule. This decision was made at the annual general meeting of the NPFL held today in Lagos. There were initial reports that the club owners might adopt an abridged format for the new season due to financial challenges faced by some of the clubs last season. However, it was agreed to retain the full schedule format after much deliberation. Also speaking at the event, the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Alhaji Ibrahim Gusso, admonished the NPFL to ensure strict compliance with the league fixtures. According to reports, the new season is expected to kick off on Saturday, 31st of August, 2024. Some key games in match day 1 will see newly promoted Beyond Limits Football Academy entertain 9-time champions Eyimba, while defending champions Rangers host FA Cup winners El Kanemi Warriors. The French Football Federation says it has filed a legal complaint over an unacceptable racist and discriminatory chant made by Argentina players following their Copa America success on Sunday night. The FFF added that its president, Philippe Diallo, has challenged his FIFA and Argentinian Football Association counterparts, Gianni Infantino and Claudio Fabian Tapia respectively, to respond to the shocking remarks contrary to the values of sport and human rights. Argentina successfully defended their Copa America title by defeating Colombia 1-0 in Sunday's final, courtesy of a Lautaro Martinez goal in extra time. Footage posted by Argentina midfielder Enzo Fernandez on his Instagram account in the aftermath of the final showed him and his teammates chanting about the France international team. Argentina defeated France in a penalty shootout in the 2022 World Cup final, with some fans of the South American nation at the tournament singing a chant ahead of that match, referencing how many France players were of African heritage and were first or second generation immigrants in the nation. 6 players dominated the team of the tournament after their impressive displays at the just concluded Euro 2024 tournament. Marco Corella, Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, Dani Olmo, Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal made the team of the tournament in their respective positions at left back, defensive midfield, centre midfield, attacking midfield, left wing and right wing. France have 2 representatives in goalkeeper Mike Maignan and centre back William Saliba. Switzerland, England and Germany have 1 rep each, with centre back Manuel Akanji, right back Kyle Walker and forward Jamal Musiala completing the team of the tournament. The team of the tournament was picked by a panel of 12 technical observers, including David Moyes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Rafa Benitez. Rafael Nadal's first singles match since losing in the first round of the French Open in May ended with a 6-3, 6-4 win against Leo Borg in the first round of the Swedish Open. The 38-year-old Spanish legend missed Wimbledon to focus on the Olympics in Paris this summer and was making his return to action at the tournament in Bastad. Nadal, who won a doubles match with Casper Ruud on Monday, broke his 21-year-old Swedish opponent, son of tennis legend Bjorn Borg, with a drop shot in the 4th game for 3-1, hitting 4 aces to take the first set in 43 minutes. An immediate break gave the Spaniard a foothold in the second, sealing the match on his second match point after 1 hour and 25 minutes on court for his 8th ATP Tour match win this season. He will play Great Britain's Cameron Norrie in the second round.
Up next is entertainment.
On Entertainment Tonight, Nigerian Afrobeat sensation Burna Boy has just become the first African artist to hit 2 billion streams in the UK. The African giant crooner was awarded a Brit plaque during his sold-out show at Coco Camden in London, where he performed at the surprise 5th anniversary concert of his 2019 album, African Giant, which delivered hit songs like On the Low, Bono, and Anybody. This amazing milestone comes just weeks after he received a Brit plaque for 1 billion streams in another sold-out show at the London Stadium. Congratulations to Burna Boy on this incredible achievement. English singer and songwriter Adele is hitting the pause button on her music career. After her current residency wraps up in November, she's taking a big break to dive into some exciting new creative ventures. In an exclusive chat with German broadcaster ZDF, the 16-time Grammy winner spilled the beans, saying, "I don't have plans for new music at all. I want a big break, and I think I want to do other creative things just for a little while." She told fans not to expect new music from her, stressing that she wants a big break. The 16-time Grammy winner's last album was 2021's 30, which won the British Album of the Year at the Brit Awards 2022. While Adele heads back to her home country after 2 years in the US, we can't wait to see what amazing new projects she has in store. That's all on Entertainment Tonight. Moving away from entertainment, the hashtag SA to the SSA takes center stage following the appointment of Alhaji Umar Bush as SA on entertainment to the SSA to the president on special needs and equal opportunities surfaced online. This sparked a whole conversation on social media as Nigerians had a lot to say about this appointment. Let's take a look at some tweets. At the Voice of Ben, nothing in Nigeria is done for its strategic advantage, just done for clout and social media frenzy. At Oladakbo Miki 1, what qualifications does Alhaji Umar Bush have to be appointed as the SA on entertainment to the senior special assistant to the president on special needs and equal opportunities? Or are we just appointing anyone now? At Obeyed Raven, what the North cannot do does not exist. I believe they just created that position for him. At Ayo_Omoajao, SA to the SSA, this is totally unnecessary. This is nothing but waste of resources and funds. That's all on What's Trending.
And that's all we have for you tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Court has rejected Emefele's plea to travel to the UK for medicals. Kano State Governor has signed bill creating second-class Emirates. Kaduna's Independent Electoral Commission has fixed October 19 for local government polls. And we also brought you news from Kenya that a court has ordered the suspected serial killer to be held for 30 days. Would like to hear from you? Please send your eyewitness report to the number showing now on your screen. You can follow us on social media to do that as well. That's at News Central TV. You can watch live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.